Hola!
Bienvenidos!
I'm Steve,
I'm Nina.
and in today's video, we'll be talking about life in town in Cancun.
We don't mean the hotel zone, but where the locals live.
Won't you join us?
So we don't want to stay in the all-inclusive hotel because we want to experience the life in town and just to see how the locals live and their food and their culture. So that's why we choose Airbnb.
Our Airbnb was single departamento or apartment in La Ceiba, which is a gated apartment complex, and there was a security guard there 24/7. It had an in-ground pool, a nice outdoor seating area. It was actually a really nice place. That was 20 minutes south of Cancun by bus, so we could walk maybe 3 minutes to the bus stop, and there's an R2 line bus that runs north and south on the freeway, and that gets you to the hotel zone and the attractions very quickly. $1 per person each way, but if you pay in pesos, it was 12 pesos per trip.
Right.
So if you think about that, once you get to Mexico, there's kind of a wide variety of exchange rates, which is not something that I think you know right off the bat. If you Google, it says 20 pesos for a US dollar. If you change money in Cancun,
it's about like 15 pesos.
Yeah, 14, 15 pesos per dollar. If you go to Valladolid, it was like 18. So there's a whole thing. So it's kind of weird to budget because you're not sure, like, should I pay in dollars? Should I pay in pesos? Like, how does it work? It does make sense to have some pesos on you for small purchases, taxi fare, bus fare, and in some cases, water, meals, those things are all good to pay in pesos.
So our tip is to exchange some pesos before you arrive in Mexico.
Because if you can get a better exchange rate or one that's pretty close to what's posted online, go for that one for sure. We also were about a 15-minute walk from a very, very nice supermarket called Soriana.
Yeah.
Here's some pictures and here's some video. So it was basically like a modern supermarket. It actually had a lot of brands that you see in America, just like their Mexican version of their product. So you could get, Quaker Oats, oatmeal, but like in packaging that made sense for Mexico, and you could get, Kellogg's cereals and all that stuff. So they had their own kind of equivalents that were for sale there.
Yeah, and for supermarkets, you can always pay in credit card, and their exchange rate are more reasonable. It's normally like 18 or 19 pesos for $1.
In Mexico, they don't automatically provide plastic bags or things when you check out. So it may be necessary to buy like a little tote, bag to take with you. If you have one at home, you could pack it in your suitcase and it would take up almost no space. And that might be a good idea if you're planning on getting around where the locals are.
Another thing is we recommend you to learn some basic Spanish before you go to Mexico.
So there's definitely a sliding scale. The further you get from the hotel zone, the level of intermediate English starts to slide down a little bit. So you might find that between your their basic English and your basic Spanish, you get a really hard time communicating. One thing that we found super useful, especially when it came to having a reliable or friendly taxi driver that we wanted to use again and again, is get something like WhatsApp. WhatsApp is very popular in Mexico. If you get their information, you can message them and try to communicate and work things out to have them come and pick you up. And that helps a lot too, especially if you find one who has a good, reasonable rate. The one thing I'd say too that we discovered because of the whole where does your basic Spanish meet their basic English and how do you get things done, is even online translator apps are still not that great at helping real clarity emerge when you're talking about something that's a little complicated. Like if you're trying to send a translated message to a taxi driver in WhatsApp and they're reading it and they're making their response and translating it and sending it back to you, it gets really silly. Learn basic Spanish. We did too. Nina got some really good, good, solid basic Spanish going, and we'll show that off in a little bit. Yeah, every little bit helps, right? So learn some Spanish. One thing that people hear a lot is that don't drink the water in Mexico, and that straight from a tap or from a shower head, don't drink the filtration, and just the systems aren't the same as they are in America. So one thing that you have to kind of adapt to, especially if you're living in the area where locals live, is managing your life through the lens of water.
Of course, if you stay in all-inclusive hotel, yeah, ignore this. But if you stay with the locals, ask them if they provide drinkable water. Because in daily life, yeah, you will realize how often you need it. Because when you wash your fruit, your veggie, and you brush your teeth, it's all need drinkable water.
Yeah, and you also realize just how hot it is in Mexico. It's so hot, and you just need water all the time. To back it up, if you're staying in the all-inclusive area, you might not need to worry about drinking water, but you still shouldn't drink from the faucets or the shower. You gotta keep. I just pretend I'm a dolphin when I'm in the shower, and I just get the water on me and go, you know, and that worked, and I was fine. Our host provided like a, I don't know, like a 20-liter jug of water. Was huge, and that took care of us for while we were staying there. You suddenly become like a tactical water mastermind, like figuring out all the things that you need to have in place so that you don't dehydrate or get, you know, Montezuma's revenge from drinking a vegetable salad that was washed in the wrong.
Well, friends, this is today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe.
And folks, that subscribe button has been through a lot. Every other YouTuber on this website has had people smash that button. Give it a break, but not too much of a break. Click it gently. We'll see you next time. Adios.
Adios.